So to have a well-functioning battery or motor, you want to have current come out of the positive terminal of the battery through this paper clip. So make sure that your paper clip makes electrical contact with the metal part of the battery. So you're going to kind of slip the paper clip in between this electrical tape and the battery so that they're touching. And to do this, I took the electrical tape off and then put it back on. It was pretty hard for me to just slip it in there. And it'll come out of the positive terminal of the battery and it will flow through the loop. So my loop goes this way and then it loops around, I think 4 times. But that's something to play with. And then it comes out through here and then it goes back into the negative terminal of the battery. So, it's a little tricky. So when I made this, I gave you 2 pieces of wire. I gave you 2 pieces of wire because I'm expecting that you're not going to do this perfectly the first time through. Try to do your best with the first one, and then once you think you have a good design, if it's still not working and you've mangled your wires so that they're not working very well, usually what happens is maybe you end up stripping too much and you can't get a good functioning motor because of that, and then move on to the second one. It's very likely that you're going to have too long of a piece of wire here. Wire cutters will be tremendously helpful with that. I was also able to cut this with a pair of scissors. Don't go grab your mom's best sewing scissors and give it a try. It wasn't too hard with my scissors, but it might permanently damage them if you do that. So, and you can also just sort of design your loop around not having to cut it at all, and that should work just fine. Some more things about what's going on here. So right now, my motor isn't spinning because there's actually no current flowing in the wire. My son needs a little break. Do it on the bed. Can you do it right here or not at all? I'll help you in a minute. And what you want to do is to have current only flowing half of the time for reasons that we'll discuss in the lab. So what I did is I fully stripped one side, okay? So wherever red is touching, that will be not making electrical contact, so current can't flow. But if you see the copper underneath, so if you use the sandpaper to strip off the copper underneath, then you have the potential for current to flow. So I stripped one side completely, and then on the other side, I only stripped it half. So now with it in this location, I can see that actually the paper clip is touching the red side, so there's no current flowing in my battery. But when I flip it around, and I think you can see that pretty well in here, right? You can kind of see, so there is the red side. And now when I flip it this way, that's the copper side. So this is the side that's stripped. And there's some ways to be tricky about making sure that you're stripping in the most optimal way, but it should work just fine to have it get stripped just any old way. When you're using the sandpaper, be careful on the tape. If you're using this like on a kitchen table, the sandpaper will sand wood or any other surface, so it can leave scratch marks pretty easily, so be wary of that. A couple other things just to be aware of. These magnets are very powerful magnets. You can hurt yourself with them. They will pick up metal objects from many inches away. If they are placed near a cell phone or computer, they have the potential to completely wipe that cell phone or computer. So I shipped this in a kind of a wrapped packet of tissues. I would suggest storing it in a wrapped package of tissues inside the box and sort of several inches away from any place where you think you might have something to touch. So feel free to play around with it and do whatever you want to do with it, but do know that these are very strong magnets. I have a couple of them that are stuck together right now from last year, and I cannot get them apart, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with them. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about. I got this electrical tape just by cutting off a little bit of this electrical tape. Scotch tape here would work as well. But yeah, I guess another thing to think about is the symmetry of your design. You don't want your you don't want it to be an oval. You don't want it to kind of be mangled. You want everything to be nice and circular. All right, so good luck in making your motors. I would like to see a video that you upload of your hopefully functioning motor. If it's not perfectly functioning, that's okay. We should at least be able to kind of see it doing some sort of wiggle waggle where like this magnet has yeah, where it sort of, maybe it doesn't keep going, but you can kind of see that it is, there's some forces that are influencing how this thing will run. Also, I had a hard time making these little mounts here out of the paper clips without using pliers, so I did break down and use pliers. That's the only time that I use something in this lab that isn't in the kit. But if you find yourself really struggling with this, that is something to think about how you might try to kind of make this. And you can see I haven't done a great job because it keeps slipping out. So a better thing to do here would be to make little circles here so that it can't slip out. But mine is, well, stopped working. So good thing it was working in the beginning. All right, good luck and have fun.